How did Byte get started? Well, eons ago. Carl has always been raised in an orchard and grew up in an orchard and went to school to try to get away from the orchard. Ended up in college and still thought he was going to be a teacher instead of what we ended up being. And um, got out of college and realized that schooling was not where he wanted to be inside, he wanted to be outside. So he started back with working with his dad in the orchard, and he saw how the owner of the orchard, made money without doing anything, and he was doing all the work making the money for the orchardist. So he saved money and bought his first orchard, and in the winter that whole orchard died, and so he had to start all over. And a few years later, then I came into the picture, um, to where I met this farmer, and ended up out of school and was working and started dating this farmer and ended up marrying him. So that's how I ended up into the orchard scene itself. Didn't really want to do anything in the orchard, just thought I could go to work and be a part of this orchard scene, but not really out in the orchard. Um, and then we moved out to the feedlots out by CNO, and had orchard out there for a while, and then ended up coming into town and bought the orchard where we're at now. And again, realizing that as the owner, you make so much money, but taking the fruit to the warehouse, you end up costing, your packing charges are about a third of whatever your profit would be. And so we thought, why not pack stuff ourselves and sell them ourselves and save that packing cost? Well, when you do that, then you have to have a box, you have to have a label, you have to have a market, you have to have a lot of things. And so we were just brainstorming, trying to figure out how we were going to come up with our own box that was not like every other box out in the industry, and not another Stemelt or another McDougall. And my sister, we were trying to come up with names, and so I mentioned it to my sister, and she said, well, fruit's supposed to taste good, so why not come up with it's a good bite. And computers were just really coming on the scene. This is how far back it goes, to where everybody was having computers, not just the great big business people, but home computers and stuff. And so we took the word from bytes out of the computer and incorporated it into our Byte label. And so that's why we're named the way we are, with our own label. And we packed our cherries, and then we ventured out and eventually packed apricots, and all of that was because of my sister, practically, coming up with the name, and Carl coming up with the design on the label. And of course, you can't do anything without a lot of help, and so we made boxes ourselves. We got people to help. We packed things ourselves. The pickers changed the way they packed or picked the fruit, and we put it into our own box, into our own label. And so that's how Byte came.